watch hentai all the time with my soul is tormented by a succubus. Colossus, pencil dripping from the way I spit. Fell in love.
Hello guys, welcome back to a brand new video, and today we're actually not going to do anything related to Roblox. We're actually going to make a Fivem script, since I really enjoy making scripts for Fivem, so I think I'm going to make this into quite kind of like a series. So today I'm just going to make like a Postman Job. It won't be the entire job. I've already like played around with it, that's why I already have it there, but I'm going to create a new one. Postnord. So basically Postnord is just a Swedish post delivery thing, or mail delivery basically. So we want to create new file, resource.lua, create directory client, server, and now let's just create some files in here. Create new file, main.lua. This will be for handling client stuff. This will be for handling server stuff, and the resource.lua is basically just for handling like where the client script is located and stuff like that. I'm just going to add that to the start list so it actually starts the plugin. So if you've never made a Fivem script for a resource or whatever you want to call it, you can always search it up like Fivem resource. Basically you can either make a resource.lua or a fx manifest, but I usually just make a resource.lua. So you can see the client scripts, server scripts, and yeah. So I'm just going to create a client scripts table, and we want to actually we need to create another file. Let's just call it config. There. Config.lua /client main.lua. That should work, I think. Server scripts config.lua comma server main.lua, and white autocorrects, yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Why it autocorrects is because I'm using tab 9 and I've made a video on it called like useful Visual Studio plugins. So now let's actually like initialize ESX, which is a library for Fivem. So first off, just may set ESX to nil, and then we want to create a thread, because now we can create like while loops in here, because if we wouldn't have this thread, if we had a while loop here, it would just stop, wait until this is done, and then execute stuff over here. So we need a while loop, while ESX equals nil, then this is just going to allow, or will wait for ESX to load, trigger event ESX get shared object. Yeah, I'm quite sure that's what it's called. Functional object, maybe. ESX equals object end. And then we actually need to wait, since otherwise we would just crash the script, as you guys should know if you've been watching my videos. And now we want to wait for the player data to load. Dot job equals nil do citizen dot wait whatever. So this is waits for the job to load in / not be nil, and why we needed this is because otherwise this would error, because ESX is nil and we need ESX over there. So yeah, actually we could have this like right there. or no. There. And now I'm just going to add a function called show notification message. You can name that whatever you want. This is just going to be a function for showing notifications, which we won't really need in this episode, but we'll need it in other episodes. So basically you could I'm just going to do this actually. Notification text entry string, and then add text component string message draw notification 0,1. So now we can actually just open docs.fivem.net. You search for Fivem natives and search these up. Oh shit. There. And we will see what this does. So this is the same thing, that just that this is the old name, and I'm quite sure I have a old version of ESX, because sometimes my these scripts, when I use the new names, it don't work. So yeah, so basically this just creates a string with a text. Wait, no, actually no, that just changes the text entry to a string. There is also a example right here on how you could use it for, quite sure that's help text, which we will also use, but I'm not going to create a function for it. Add draw component. Actually we could just search that up, because that's probably going to be more. You can see that you have stuff like this. So instead of yeah, they even have examples right there. Let me just find it. This might be the notification. Yeah, they have an example, and there is important, which we have at false/0, and this is B has tokens 1. Yeah, that's just if it appears in the pause menu. So yeah, that's basically how you search up stuff that you don't know. So now let's create another thread. Create thread function, and now we would want to do some work in the config. And by the way, I just have a server, whatever. No, not for. Sorry. So we need to do config equals just a table. There's nothing inside of there, that's why I said so now we could add another one. Config.blips equals, and then we need to create another table, because at the end of, or after finishing the config, I'm going to create a script which loops through all these blips, so you can easily add blips. And if you don't know, blips are the icons on maps. I'm going to see if I can get an image of it. Yeah, you can see all the blips right here. Yeah, these are also the icons. So basically I have replaced one of the icons with a logo which I wanted, which is this icon, and I have the, yeah, that's where I'm going to use this icon. So let's just do name equals post node. Just change this to the name of the blip. Size equals 1. Color equals nil. I don't want the color, because you can't have colors on custom blips. Otherwise you could search up blip colors. Quite sure this. Yeah, right here. You can see all the colors. Equals nil. Icon equals 16, which is that yet plane. Codes equals vector 362.97. Just get these codes in some way. This is at the what's it called, post go place, which is quite fitting for this. Display equals 6. Always use display 6. True. So this will be, if this is off, then it will be shown all the time. If it's on, you will need an actual job to even see it. So now I'm just going to explain this display. Fivem natives. I'm quite sure it's in here. Blip display. Yeah, right here. This is just how, like, when it shows up. Like 0 is that it never shows up. 6 is that it shows up on both main map and minimap, but it's only selectable on the map. And yeah. So you can, if you want more blips, you can just do that. I'm just going to do this to check if the job required thing actually works. So yeah, now make sure to save it. I'm using a VPS, that's why I have to do that. So inside of this thread we're going to create all the blips in pairs config.blips. So we don't need to import the config or whatever. That's what this works, since we imported the config right here into the client script, and this is a client script, so this will be imported, and the name of it is config, and that's why we have to do config there. And now let's just do local blip equals add blip for chord v.chord.x. Did we do chords? Yeah, chords, sorry. Comma v.chords.y, comma v.chords.c. So if you've never been like experimenting with chords, you might not know this, but this is actually the height, like how high it is, because normally y is the height, like up and down, but now c is the height / up and down in Fivem. So then we need to change the sprite / the icon. Set blip sprite blip comma v.icon. I'm quite sure that's what we called it. Yep, it was. And now we want to do if v.color is not equal to nil, then and set blip color blip comma v.color. So why we need to do this is because we wanted it not to change the color if it's nil, and if we wouldn't have this, it would try to change the color to nil, which wouldn't work since nil doesn't exist. Nil is nothing. So now set blip display blip comma v.display begin text command set blip name string. So this is just the name which shows up when you hover over it and in the list. Add text component string v.name and text component set blip name text component set blip name. Yeah, tab 9 isn't perfect. There, that should work. Now let's try to save this, restart the server and join. I'm just open. And then join my server. This works the same if your server is hosted on your PC or wherever it's hosted. So it will still work, just that I have it on a game server, which I will change to a VPS later. But yeah, it's just cause I don't want to host it on my server, and it's a lot easier to add MySQL and stuff. The only downside would be that you have to like save your code and stuff. And you might notice that we haven't added like the job checking, which we can do right now. Create thread function, and while true do end citizen dot wait, and you can't do just wait. And 0 is, well, this is in milliseconds, so that would be 1,000, but citizen.wait 0 would be the same as wait in Lua. Or well, this is Lua, but like they have made some changes basically just to make it easier for development. Yeah, that's just old errors because it messed up when uploading to the server. There should be no error. Yeah. Haven't even gotten added. Restart. Yeah, let's see if we got any errors. They shouldn't be there though. Yeah, right here. Where? Line 3. Oh shit. That's my fault. Now let's just restart it. And you will see that our custom logo is there. And we also have another one at same place. So now let's actually just fix the job required so it actually hides if you're not the right job. If esx.player data.job and esx.player data.job.name, then this is just to not get any errors when you're loading in, because otherwise this won't have time to load and you will get a lot of errors. So first off, this has to load for this to work. Another way to fix this would be like moving this outside, but I'm not sure if that will work though. If esx.getPlayerData.job, oh no, yeah, .job, and esx.getPlayerData.job name, then, and this will just make sure that both get player data and play data works, and that they are true / exists and aren't nil / doesn't exist. So now we have to do if esx.getPlayerData.job.name equals Postman, then, and this has to be the name of the job inside of your database. Set blip display blip comma v.display. So this just makes it the default. Else if v.job required, we could just do or v.job required equals false. Else let's hide it. So this basically checks that if your job is not the postman or v.job required is false, then it will show it, and if job required is false and it is, then and you're not that job, it will hide it. Otherwise it will show it. I think I said it wrong. Let's see, only one no, both should show up actually. Both are there. Set job 1 like police 3. Now I'm police, and the other one disappears. Fantastic. Now let's just remove this old one. Let's just keep job required on that since we actually need or well, I want it to be job required. Yeah, so now let's just TP there. I have a custom command for teleporting to markers there. So this is basically the place. I'm thinking of changing it, or well, yeah, I'm going to change it. I just haven't had time. So now let's add a garage so you can spawn your cars right here, and then you just put them in. And I have a custom car card, like, what's it called? Let me check. It's called Boxville. Oh no, wrong. Boxville 2. And then it's supposed to have set color. It's supposed to be, which colors it's supposed to be? Where is it? I don't really remember. Yeah, but that's what we're going to do in the next episode. We're just going to create the markers right now. We're not going to add this vehicle spawning right now, sadly. But yeah, so now we will need some more config stuff. We'll need config.vehicle spawn equals marker position. This will just be where you open the menu or whatever you want. Equals vector 3 6166 comma 123. If you want to get coordinates, I just have this command for my own server. I think you can find this quite easily, but these codes are around this area. Yeah, and then spawn position equals vector 3 6614. That should work. Always make sure to have the first two like decimals, because that makes it a lot better, and sometimes it doesn't even work if you don't have them. Spawn heading equals, this should be heading this direction. I also have a command for that. Yeah, that's heading that direction. Now the delete position, comma delete pos equals vector 3 73.36 comma 92.054 19. There. Now everything in here should be done. We just add this config.vehicles. This is meant to be all your vehicles. Same with this. We're going to create multiple vehicles, or well, we're going to add support for it at least. Postload van comma model name equals Boxville 2. That should be everything for the config. Okay, now let's just create another thread inside of here, so a subthread. I'm not even sure if that's how Fivem does it, but it would be cool. Another while loop, just add the wait 0. This will be all the garage stuff, blips, garage. No, let's just add that right here. Garage. And now let's just, we will need two coordinates. Local coords equals config dot vehicle spawn dot marker position, and then the player coords. Oh shit, ped coords. I just noticed that problem. Coords, that's what I meant to do. Equals get entity coords player ped ID. I'm quite sure you could do like get ped. I know there's a different way, but I just did it this way. Same thing here. We want to check the job. If exx.player data. Yeah, let's just copy this actually. And if esx.getPlayData.job.name equals postman then, and this might be quite like not needed. Actually could move this outside here, but Fivem doesn't really lag a lot when you do stuff like this, so that's quite good. So now let's draw a marker. I will just do this and then I will explain this. And no, let's do quotes.x, quotes.y, quotes.c, yeah, we want to do minus 0.7 because right now the marker is like at the middle of my character, so like there, but we need to subtract an amount to make it actually go down on the ground. So now 0.0, 0.0, a lot of zeros right here, 4 zeros, 180, I'm quite sure that's the rotation, I can check that. True, two, nil, false. Let's just see if that works. As I said, 5 natives. Draw marker. Type. This is type 1 is just the circle one. Position. That's the position. Direction, we don't want it any direction. Rotation, that's the rotation. The scale / size, which we didn't we have a size? No, we didn't. We equal spawn also there. What more? Scale, red and green, so this is just a fully green marker. This is the alpha / the like opacity. Bob up and down. These are mostly default values, like P19 is just found by looking through the GTA 5 game files, and you often set it to 2, but it doesn't seem to matter as the documentation says. So now let's try to save this and just refresh it. Oh yeah, we have to set our job. Set job 1, postman 0. Yeah, you can see that that's quite weird actually. Damn. Let's just see right here. 79. That looks right, I guess. Let's just remove like some more, I guess. Yeah, let's just remove a bit more than like 2 maybe. That looks a lot better. Heal. Oh, heal 1. I'm going to die otherwise. So now there's a different way of getting the distance. So normally in Lua from Roblox, or like, yeah, the basic Lua, you do chords, ped, chords, dot magnitude. But that doesn't work in so-called Fivem Lua. So you have to do v distance / vdist ped chords. So basically you just want this to be 1. This will just check if the player's inside the marker. You could make that lower if you want it to be more, if you want the player to be like exactly in the center or something. So now we want to make a help text / a text up in that corner. Begin text command display help string And now add text component substring player name, click input context. So how you find this is you just do like Fivem keys. Yeah, there are controls. This will have a list of a lot of keys. For example, if you wanted it to say F, you would put input enter right there. So these brackets are basically like attributes to the text, like that would make it green, which we could actually have white right there. And then we need to put it back to white to open the garage. Now when we get close we should see some help text saying press E to open the garage. Sorry, I can't really talk. Oh shit. Begin text command. Begin text command display help. Maybe I spelled it wrong or something. Are you like... Are these guys lying or some shit? Oh yeah, end text command display help. Or 0, false, true, duration, or 5000. Wait, no, actually we have no duration set, so let's just do that. That's really weird. Begin text. Let's just search it up in the natives. We could just use the old one then. Text component format. Yeah, it looks like they want me to use the old one. That's really weird actually. Old one. And always check the documentation before you like redo it, because sometimes switching to the old one might help actually. Okay, sorry for that. No, let's actually save this time. No errors yet. Yeah, you will see that it says click E to open the garage with a fancy letter. That's why you can't just do E, or well you can, but it's not as pretty or whatever. So now let's create another thread for removing the car. Click to store your vehicle. And now we want the codes to be delete pos. And we might want to change it to a red color instead of green. Like that. And that's basically it for this episode. Next episode we will make this actually work, and we will work on like the delivery system, maybe if we have time. But yeah, bye guys.